Okay, I see we're live. Oops. All right. Um, hi, my name is Josh. I'm the CEO of the Electric Coin Company. Thank you for joining me. If you're not familiar, ECC was responsible for launching Zcash in 2016, and we've been supporting it ever since. I need I need to shut another window. Hold on. Apologies. I had my own audio feeding back to me off of the channel. So I want to spend a little bit of time with you to walk through our mission and approach. But first, like someone gave me some feedback not long ago that I should talk more about how ECC is kicking ass. And so I've been thinking about that a lot and decided, sure, why not? So we'll launch there. Um, this this is what when I Googled kick ass meme, because we're really just all about memes. This is what I got, which is cute enough, but it's not usually what I think about when I think about kicking ass. This is more of what comes to mind. But being the curious person I am, I really wanted to learn about the origin of the phrase kick ass. But when I searched for kick ass origin, this dude came up. Apparently, there's a superhero named Kick Ass who, like all superheroes, has an origin story. And so that's what I found. So I had to dig a little bit deeper into the bowels of the internet to find the origin of kick ass or kicking ass. And I found it in a letter from the US Civil War. And I'm not going to read this to you because I don't know how to pronounce these words. And I stared at this quote, trying to make sense of them. And I started to get a little confused. So this guy, John Gregory of Pennsylvania, like whose ass did he want to kick exactly? Who's the subject or the recipient? Is it Captain Gilbert's? And if kick ass wasn't already a common phrase and he just made it up in this letter, like what exactly did he mean? I have no idea. So I started getting pretty confused. I started seeing some other stuff. I'm totally down the rabbit hole in my kick ass searches at this point. What's the point of this sign? So does a metaphorical foot come from a metaphorical foot pain come from a metaphorical ass kicking? And if so, what is the metaphorical foot? Or does a real foot pain come from metaphorical ass kicking? And again, whose ass is getting kicked? I'm totally overthinking it at this point. And I searched further, and apparently you can kick your own ass. But since it's a workout routine, it's good for you. And so I'm a visual person. I started visualizing running around in public doing this, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to refrain from kicking my own ass. And then I came across another image and also confusing. Wait, like be kind to the ass I'm kicking. I'm so lost. So back to finding superheroes again. Many superheroes kicking ass in Google search, and I see Iron Man at the bottom, and that pretty much describes my face at this point. So it's all very perplexing. Allow me to shift gears and just be me for the rest of this. Lots of goodness. I'll spare you any more ass kicking. If you happen to read my weekly updates, this passage might sound familiar. It's a passage from a book by George MacDonald. And it goes like this. I stood up and wandered a little farther off the bridge and along the road. I had not gone far before I passed a house, out of which came a young woman leading a little boy. They came after me, the boy gazing at the red and the gold and the green of the sunset sky. And as he passed me, the child said, Auntie, I think I should like to be a painter. Why? Returned his companion. Because then, answered the child, I could help God to paint the sky. I came across this passage about 1 year ago. I was reading a book in a small ancient town on a Croatian island. And I was there for a couple weeks to get away from the noise, to wrestle with my thoughts, to consider my path ahead. This is a picture of the sunset that evening, just down the path from an old stone home in which I was staying. I spent time alone. I thought about where I was dedicating my time and if I was really making a difference. I thought about this mission and whether there was hope for this cause and for Zcash. On one of the days, I was sitting inside as the thunderstorms rolled through, listening to some poetry from David White. And something within me said, Josh, are you ready for what is about to come? And I knew change was coming. Within a month, I had resigned from my role at ECC. I don't want to get onto all the reasons here, except that I wanted to be able to speak freely about the change that I believe was needed for Zcash to thrive. It was difficult. I remember crying. I remember crying when I told the ECC team that I was leaving. And at that time, I couldn't imagine that I'd be back with the team and with you all in under 6 months. But why did I return? I returned because of this great cause. I returned to stand with you and to help bring change. I returned because this very group of people watching this right now that will paint the sky and forever alter the arc of human history. Picking up a brush to paint the sky may sound fantastical, but this is our job to do. There is no one else. It's just us. Much has been done already, and if you're here today and you're part of this conference, you're part of it. Together, we can build a new system to empower everyone with financial freedom. We must. ECC can do our part, but we can't do it all. We'll achieve this dream together. We are committed to build for you, but alongside you. Where are we today? It's stormy weather. We're all feeling the effects of the coin price, of regulatory actions, of all the negative narratives. The actions against Samurai and Tornado Cash and the FBI public service announcement and the subsequent decisions by Wasabi and Phoenix to shut down, these are chilling. Our liberties are under attack. I highly encourage you to attend tomorrow's sessions where the experts in our community will kind of talk through what's been going on and the implications of these things. But that's not all. It's not just regulatory. We're seeing the mass adoption of Bitcoin, but it is a failure and it is a risk to our mission. This once wild creature that was intended to usher in a new world of financial freedom, it has been captured and tamed by the ringmasters of the traditional financial system and of government. To make matters worse, the weaknesses of transparent cryptocurrencies are being exploited. Chain surveillance companies are tagging addresses, tracing all activity, and putting this power in the hands of anyone that wants it, anyone that will pay for it. And this is being coupled with powerful AI that has the ability to augment this your financial dealings on chain with other public information, including, think about it, home addresses, where you travel, and the details of where to find your children. While the government's actions are chilling, it's what we are choosing to expose online that is truly frightening. For these reasons, we at ECC, along with you, must repaint the sky. And in order to do that, we built. This is what we know how to do. ECC's focus is on building a new system outside the old system. If we try to conform Zcash to the traditional system like Bitcoin has done, it will be captured like it has happened with Bitcoin. But we can build a new system adjacent to the old to eventually supplant the old. Here's how. To onboard the world, we need to build a friendly user experience. We know our science is amazing, but if the science can't be put in the hands of billions of people, it will only ever be a tool for the scientists. To empower everyone with economic freedom, we must build for everyone. We need to build on-ramps. We need to ensure everyone has access. In the old system, only people with acceptable identification or enough wealth have access to financial tools. We must have on-ramps for everyone and everywhere. We must also build in fun, because laughter is contagious and fun drives growth, and there's a reason so many gravitate towards meme coins and platforms that make them smile. Deliver fun on top of silence and adoption will take off. Zcash cannot thrive on its own. We need bridges into legacy financial system and legacy systems and other decentralized projects. It's an ecosystem. We need cross-chain bridges to access novel services and bridges into traditional rails, including things like legacy point-of-sale systems. A new financial system cannot thrive without security. We need to feel safe, that our wealth and interactions cannot be exploited by thieves, and that we do not risk loss due to bugs, and that what we're doing isn't going to result in our imprisonment or fines, and that our loved ones are able to access funds should something happen to us. And finally, none of us wants to feel alone. We need community to spur one another on, to foster new ideas and bring new people into the fold. This community is the bedrock of everything we will do. It's this community that will forever alter the arc of human history. These are the things that are informing our efforts at ECC to build a full stack user experience for Zcash so you and I can be free. But where do we start? I started by dreaming about what capabilities I would love. Just me personally, self-serving. I sat on the couch the morning of January 1st of this year and I queried my own mind. What if I could? What if I could use ZEC to buy goods and services even if the vendor didn't accept ZEC? What if I could earn ZEC? What if I could send a payment request to a friend or the person staying in my rental property? What if I could send ZEC to a friend over a messaging app? What if I didn't have to care about what my seed phrase was or where to store it or how to securely custody my own assets? What if I could store other types of tokens like real estate and treasuries in a shielded pool in my own vault and then collateralize those holdings for credit to be used in DeFi or maybe buy a car? And then I sketched out functional pieces we might need to accomplish these things. It looked like this, and it became the basis for the conversation to define ECC's roadmap. We'll dig into some of the elements here in a minute, but the things highlighted in green are the things ECC is actively working on this quarter. At ECC, we have two primary areas of focus, Zashi and Zcash, and I want to talk through each. Zashi is the user experience for this new system. It's our means of engaging users through a friendly user experience by integrating on-ramps, delivering fun and engaging capabilities, bridging to other interesting Web3 platforms and legacy financial systems, and empowering more people to use ZEC. Zcash is the core protocol. It underpins everything that we do and everything that we do with Zashi as well. It must have strong cryptography to ensure secure, private, censorship-resistant access and use, and it must scale to meet the needs of everyone. It must support interoperability through bridges and evolve to include novel capabilities such as ZSAs. Our roadmap, ECC's roadmap, is available at electriccoin.co/roadmap, and it is updated once a quarter. And publishing this here and the way that we're doing, we're becoming more agile, allowing us to more quickly adapt based upon what we learn from others, what you and others are doing across the Zcash ecosystem, the funding that we have available to us, market trends, and regulatory realities. The top section of the roadmap is Zashi and the bottom is Zcash, and they're interconnected. There's dependencies between them. We set priorities based upon what we believe will drive adoption. We consider the roadmap of others in the ecosystem like ZF and Kedit and others. We look at API availability, things like integration with third parties like Maya, ZSA availability, and so on. For Zashi, we have areas that we're looking into for future versions as well as capabilities that we're targeting for this quarter. In April, our priority was to ship Android 1.0, which we did on April 28th, exactly 1 month after we shipped Zashi iOS, which is the first production wallet from ECC. We're currently working on a number of user experience improvements, including currency conversions, dark mode, and integration with third parties for things like payments into the old system. Most recently, we've been playing with APIs and having conversations with Ratum for gift cards, Flexa for point-of-sale integrations, and Coinbase for onboarding. I encourage you to catch the Zashi session on Thursday, where Andrea, ECC's Zashi product manager, will tell you more about what we're working on and show you some fun things. For Zcash itself, a significant amount of time is being spent on the interfaces and wallet infrastructure needed to support the deprecation of Zcash D, as Dodger talked about earlier, which is the most widely used consensus node in the ecosystem. However, it is based on this old Bitcoin legacy, C++ code, and it slows our engineering efforts down tremendously. We intend to retire this code base and supplant the nodes that people are using with the Zcash Foundation developed ZBRD just as soon as there is enough feature parity, which is the gap is predominantly a wallet that works effectively with the node software. Once we're able to get all the building blocks in place to replace these capabilities, we'll start working with exchanges and miners to make these upgrades. This work is a critical prerequisite for activating the Keta-developed Zcash shielded assets, as Zcashd will not support them. We also introduced the idea of transient testnets so that we can get new capabilities out into the ecosystem to test without waiting for fine code or audits. And we're continuing our work on hybrid proof of work and proof of stake, though at a much slower pace because we have prioritized Zcash deprecation. This includes documentation of Dara's crosslink design and building a simulator. The dates on our roadmap for proof of stake are the most speculative things on the roadmap for these reasons. But for more detail, please check out the technical road ahead coming up later today and Dara's session on crosslink, which is a key element of the hybrid proof of work, proof of stake system. But engineering isn't all we do, and we're not operating in a vacuum. As I mentioned earlier, we need a community to spur one another on, foster new ideas, and bring new people into the fold. ECC is engaging more than ever in the various communities across the Zcash ecosystem with a mandate internally to open our doors and open dialogue. We have increased transparency through weekly updates that I write and publish on the forum. And we've asked the community for feedback and engagement to help inform our roadmap. In January, we launched ZBoot and asked the community to join us for workshops and planning. We'll continue this practice twice a year with the ZEC summits. The next one is scheduled in July in San Diego, and we invite builders across the ecosystem to join us. We're also working with many others on feedback, technical collaboration, information sharing, and policy and regulatory cooperation and engagement. We're focused on adoption that scales. We want partners to help us with technology, with integration, with campaigns. A great example is the work that we've been doing Filecoin and Brave. With our support, Brave has already added Zcash transparent addresses to their browser wallet, with shielded addresses coming later this summer. We'll then work with them and Filecoin to add storage, allowing for larger payloads to be saved within the shielded memo field using Filecoin infrastructure. Brave has already began rolling out some ads. They've been teasing some ads on their browser, but the real ad push will start in earnest after shielded addresses come online. And we really want to do a significant push into LATAM. We're also working with them to ensure there are fun places to spend ZEC through the browser. If you're going to be in Consensus in Austin later this month, let me know. We're hosting an event with Filecoin and Brave, and it'd be fun to have you there and to see you in person. Agility is another key focus area. We constantly refactor our roadmap, as I mentioned before, to ensure that we're continually building momentum. And we're building new engineering cycles and cutting friction at every turn while bringing a fresh talent into ECC to help us do more faster. And we're working on Zcash and ECC sustainability. By engaging with third parties, we can help amplify their efforts, onboard them into the Zcash ecosystem. ECC is not hiding in its own bubble. We are reaching out and supporting all your work as well. This is important for decentralization and growth of the ecosystem. We've been also working on our financial position, building out our treasury plan and forecasting models to allow us to look at the impact of things like coin prices and different revenue scenarios related to things like the debt fund. Here's our current financial state. As you can see, we've got about $1 million in USD, about 1.3 million in ZEC at a $23 price, and about 1.4 million estimated remaining debt fund. So that gives us about 3.8 million in those assets through November of 2024. Again, this is not all money sitting in the bank today or sitting in a wallet, but these are anticipation of the debt fund through November, but only through November. At the bottom, you can see we have about a $4 million annual run rate. We do have a couple other assets, and we do have a debt obligation. We own 4.7 million in BLD tokens at yesterday's prices. We are staking the majority of those tokens and managing some of them out of our treasury. We earn about 5% in terms of staking rewards. We also have about $17.8 million in Stark tokens, again, at yesterday's prices. Those are under lock, so they vest over time. We're able to get access to 1.67% of our tokens every month for the first 12 months, and that started last month. And then that doubles for years 2 and 3. So I'd say we have about 2.63 million in total semi-liquid assets. They aren't completely liquid assets, but assets that are available to us. These are like wavy waters, right? So these asset prices go up and down, and so it's highly volatile. Our asset base is highly volatile, but there's a good base there. We also have a $3.75 million debt obligation that is scheduled to come due this year. Now is the time to accelerate. It's time to move past these last years. It's time to move past this kind of ideal of spending years of R&D on speculative improvements that we hope might work, that we hope might drive adoption. Last year, we made 2 significant announcements. The first is our intent to terminate the trademark agreement with the Zcash Foundation. This will increase the power of the community and move us towards social consensus. The second is that we will not accept ongoing guaranteed development funding by codifying our wallet into Zcash consensus rules. In the post, I advocate strongly against anyone receiving funding this way and suggest that a purely grants-based model is much better for our future. If not a grants-based model, then allow the current dev fund to expire as planned in November. With these 2 fundamental and necessary changes, we'll prune the excess, plant new seeds, and Zcash will be primed to flourish. In my weekly update post from last week, I wrote the following. This ship was built to sail. As is written in our position on the dev fund, quote, however, for the world to find freedom through Zcash, Zcash itself must be free. Zcash must be fully decentralized. It must be open. It must be liberated from political pressure and coercion. At its very core, in its source code, Zcash must embody autonomy, and it must welcome broad participation, both in its use and stewardship. We are ready for that to be realized. To do that, we must change governance and the dev fund as they are structured today. We must remove the dock lines and allow the crew to demonstrate their mettle in the high seas without the safety of the port. Some will prefer the port. They'll prefer the home they've come to know. They'll say it is better to play it safe, to wait for calmer waters, to wait until we have just a few more provisions stored in the hull, to add a few more crew members and better maps. Damn it, how can we navigate without better maps? Once we have all that, it will be a good time to sail. My friend, that time will never come. Our crew is ready. I see a fun, dedicated, and energetic community in Zcash Global Discord, ZCub, Free2Z, the AV Club, Zcash Brazil, the Light Client Working Group. I see growing family in the meetings with Zure, committed to the use of Zcash around the world. I see R&D and high-quality engineering. With Kedit, I see passionate developers working at Shielded Labs on Zingo and YWallet, among others. I see committed partners, including Brave and Filecoin and Namada and RedDev. This crew is no longer just ECC, ZF, and ZCG. It is much larger and beautifully diverse. And governance and funding must change to reflect that. Today, we are ready to untether ourselves from the port of our past and sail into a new era for Zcash. Oh, the adventures will have, the tales will tell. There'll be storms and krakens and sirens singing and dangers at every turn. And what an epic we will live out. When we do, we will surely alter human history. Please read the ECC blogs for more on these positions, our actions, and why we believe that today is the day we set Zcash free. And catch the Wednesday panel on the Dev Fund and what I'm sure will be a spirited conversation. So that's what we're up to. It is a lot. We've been very busy working strategically and diligently for you, for Zcash, for this community, for this mission, and this is how we are painting the sky. But what about you? What's the future you're dreaming of? What colors are your sky? What are your brushes? There are so many fantastic people with ideas and skills across the ecosystem. Paint with us as we paint with you. And if you want to paint with us, here are a few ways to get started. One, download Zashi and play with it and let us know what you think. Join our Discord, drop in comments and ideas, things that we should be doing. Give us feedback on our roadmap in the forum on Discord and the channels this week or at Zec Summit in July. Shoot us ideas and let us know what we're working on so that we can come alongside you. This photo was taken by Zcash, the ECC engineer who built the iOS version of Zashi. It was taken in an early January morning on the last day of ZBoot in Palm Springs. A flippin' amazing sky. And I leave you with this, something that Tatiana from Jur once told me. This is just the beginning. Thanks for your time. I'm happy to take a few minutes for questions. I think we may have a couple in here. All right, so the first question, ECC's roadmap is rather ambitious, but ECC seems overly and chronically spread thin. Oh, amen. Are you planning to hire more staff? Yes, we are planning to hire more staff. We have a job posting out there right now for a head of ops and finance. We'll be looking for a user experience designer. We need some more engineering talent on our team. We need a security director. Those are things that we are going to parse out over time as we get a better understanding of where we are with the financial system when we change the structure of our balance sheet. So we are planning to add more in order to be able to do more. And the team is just like, they are spread thin. They were just like busting tail all the time to try to get things out and committed to doing it well. And we need to support them in that work. The next question that came in is, since we need fun, do you agree with the statement that, quote, first ZSA should be a meme coin? I would actually love to see somebody play with that. That's not something what ECC is going to do. I don't know if I, agree or disagree. I agree with people should play with ideas. And so, yeah, totally have fun with it. I think there's a lot of fun things that we could do with ZSAs. People talked about kind of ordinal kind of things and NFTs, but have fun and I'd love to see it. Okay. I think that's it for me. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. Feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions. Thank you.